Okay, so today I will show you how to do the police mission to find a hacker. So we will find a mission, CIA. It's much shorter to type. I realize there's 2 page of police job, and this one there's one but repetition trick. I cannot do this right now. So, yep, police, it's too long to type, so CIA will work. Reputation 2, find the hacker's computer. That will be the mission that we'll do today. We'll show you how to do it. The usual, with an nmap to have some information about the admin and see if ports are open in the network. We can see the computer that we want to access have port open. So we will start the hack. I started with get info, thinking that if we have a point 0.3 and point 0.4, maybe there's a point 0.2, so there's 3 or more computer on this network. So there is enough computer connected to the router to have the information. So get info will give you this when it works. So when I do this kind of mission, I'm doing a quest map in the notepad. So the start of where we are starting in our investigation. Since there is a SSH, I won't using a hack on this one. I will automatically connect to when I will have the root password. There it is. And in my quest map, I always put the root password after the IP address. So if something doesn't work or something like that, or I have something to do in real life and I have to stop the mission in the middle, I have some, as I say, a quest map, so what I've done and things like that. It's my way of working. It doesn't work for everybody, but if you find this tip useful, go for it. I don't have any copyright on this method of working. So I tap ifconfig to see if I'm in the good computer. And we can see right there was a shell open on port 22. That is not my IP address. My IP address is the one starting with 128. So the hacker came in this computer from the IP 76, 151, 132, 122. I add it to my quest map so I can look at the IP later, because when you close the log, you cannot copy in the log, and when you close the log, you won't be able to see it in the future. So I exit the computer, clear everything, so it's much easier to see, especially the terminal on the left. It's my administrative and my port information terminal. So now the usual again. We should do a song with this. The usual who is and map. Maybe ask someone who I know who play music to do a song for me. So we have another SSH and FTP on two different machines. I will mostly use auto remote in this mission because I'm not sure. It's an assumption, but I think that auto hack and auto local do so much thing that it's overflow the system log, because when I use it and I do this kind of mission, I don't find uh, I don't find trace of the hacker because the log is really too long. So I was lucky in this one because the hacker was not using this machine to connect. But when I use this, usually the log are really long and I think they overflow. I'm not sure. Maybe if the dev see my video can tell me in the comment, or if Snake see my video, he knows his script very well. Maybe he can tell me if it's the case. But sometime there's so much thing in the log I don't find trace of the hacker. And yes, when you're guest, you don't have the permission to view the log. So I will have to do a little bit of social engineering to make sure the log is not full. So I will do the basic things much easier, much shorter, because the script work, but it's a little bit long, especially autolocal. There's so many exploit that it used. So it scan three libraries, so it's a bit long to do. Usually you have the time to make you a sandwich. Yes, a typo. That that's what happened when you do a typo in a username. Luckily for us, there's no real human in the other way of the email, so it's not suspicious to send another email with the good username. But in real life, typo exists. Maybe the admin will be comprehensive. Whoa. I'm French Canadian. My English is not great, so I will forget that word. So now I have a user that is able to see logs and able to access the PASSWD file. And as we can see, it's not this machine that the hacker used to hack the first computer. I don't know why it do this. It's not the first time it do this. Uh, you have to be root to decipher PSSWD, but the sudo command before deciphers don't seem to work. I don't know why. So updating the quest map. Clear the log a little bit. And now I put it. Oh, I'm looking at the footage right now and I think I forget to remove this scanlan because I know I use AutoAct. The scanlan is in home guess, so I think I forget to remove it. So now I'm looking at the LAN. I see there's couples of server in this network. Now I'm looking subnet by subnet, which one or behind which gateway. Now, if you didn't do a FTP right now, it will be a little tutorial how to use FTP. FTP doesn't provide you with a shell. It's file transfer protocol, so you cannot open exes like with a shell with SSH. So in FTP, it's all in command. So now I will want to see the log. So I will go in the folder, type get to download the file that you want. In this case, system.log. And in every case, the log must be viewed as a root. And I'm not sure why I cannot see the log in another machine. I can only see it when I'm at home, not in another machine. So this is the log from this computer. Clean it a little bit. And it doesn't appear. Don't know why. It's there. Maybe because I don't know if it's the because the FTP that is doing weird shit. doesn't work. So I, as you will see, I will transfer it at home, and there it will work. There we have it. So it's the same IP in that, so it's my connection. So I will clean it there. To transfer it back, you have to be root, so you cannot just grab it from the desktop where you put it and put it back where you grab it. You have to open the file explorer and root permission. Now you can replace it. So the cleanup version will be on replaced by the first one, and then back in the terminal, see where I'm at. I'm in the right folder. So use the put command to put the file in the folder that you're in. So put in the pathway of the file. So the new log cleaned up is in place. I will exit this machine, delete a little bit of stuff. Now I will transfer to another machine. So this is the gateway for this one. I will simulate a ping simulation is very useful. You can see if you can access from where you are another machine. So in this case, I can. I don't have to act the router to go to the next machine. Luckily for us, we have SSH, so no ACK required. Just tap the SSH command. And nope, nothing from this machine. Bit of cleanup. Again an SSH. not this one. Next machine. So you want to find your next target. A little ping simulation to see if it's possible, but nope, it's not possible to hack it from where we are. It's sometimes when there's a machine between the router and where you are, the gateway will show you the computer, not the router. So in this case, the computer have no port open because it's a computer, not a server. So we will have to hack the router instead. In this case, I use a basic tool from the Hack Shop, Ragoons. In my couple of previous video, I use it to hack some router. It's quicker than auto hack or auto remote uh, because there's no scanning. The exploit is made from for a specific memory overflow. But in this case of the script of the from the last video, there's a scan of the library to try multiple exploit. But I know Dragoons work really fast in every router. So, yep. From the router, we will transfer some useful tools. I'll start with Nmap because I don't know what I will need for to hack the server. The ping is possible from there. So I will be able to hack from the router. And we have a SSH and an FTP. It's a router. It doesn't have SSH or FTP stuck. You have to transfer it. It's not a big deal. The only thing that you cannot use on a router it's its program. So the extension exes, you cannot use it on a router. The router can only execute binary file. It's a thing to consider. So that's why I don't erase the log in router. And in most of the guides that you see online, uh, they say NPC doesn't care about the log of routers, so you don't have to clear it. But it's possible. Just transfer the log on your computer. Make sure that you have root access. I will stop talk about this. So we found the machine that was used to hack the computer. So you can see we have the the IP 61.144, and we can see that the connection was routed to 148 to 54. So this is the computer that was used to go to hack the starting computer, the computer that the police had the information that had been hacked. So now, since we have the information, we clear the log. Get out, get out of there. Clean a bit the router. We don't care about the logs. Go in the previous machine. Clear a bit. And I didn't clean up the home guest folder. Yep, that's something that happened. I don't think it's bad. It's a single player game. From my part, I don't play multiplayer because it's easier to do this kind of video. Don't have to blur my password and IP and things like that. So the usual with an map to see what is going on the next network. This is why I didn't clear the home guess because I thought I'd use other remote, but I use auto hack for the first one. So I think, but oh well. So the usual, try to decipher the root password for this computer, make it easier to clean up and things like that. You don't have to be root when you put it in a txt file, only the binary from the etc folder that you have to be root privilege to have root privileges to decipher. So we have the new password. I will put it in my quest map. Make sure that if something happened, I have some information ready for when I come back. So now the risk, a bit of a risky part because I found that with the port 80, the HTTP service, auto remote works better when there's a root present online. It will give you a shell easily, but it's a bit risky. Some admin will start a trace on you. That's why it's important to have the admin monitor running all the time. So I if you see on the left, there's a break in the terminal, I didn't copy the name of the company, so I paste the username and then wonder what is going on, but then I see it. So yeah, mistakes happen. So now, as you can see, we have a lot of option with auto remote when the root is online. I check there's no trace. So now I have access to this computer. And it's only my IP, so it's not this machine that been used to hack the previous one. We will have to do some investigation on this network to see where this can come up, and it's a fairly big one. There's a couple of server, lots of machine, a switch. It's hard to see, but at least three subnet. The two blues are a bit the same, so it's hard to see, but there's three subnet. One right after the main router, one where I am, and one behind the switch. Since I use auto remote, I will have to transfer some tools and libraries. Here I'm hacking the router, so port 0. I didn't do a ping simulation. Maybe I was able to ping it, but I'm not sure because there's a switch between me and the other subnet. So now that we are in the router, yep, it's not the good file explorer. Sometimes there's so much So much windows open. So I'm escalating my privileges to root because I will have to tinker with log, the system log in the file explorer because it will be a FTP command. I do the same in my home terminal to make it quick when I have the file. Since I'm playing single player, if you want to guess my password, I will give you a hint. If you if you are able to find it and put it in the comment, I have nothing to give you but my respect for life. So there's a hint. The hint is vinegar. If you are able to find the password, that's up to you. Put it in the comment. It will be fun, and some people will wonder how did you get this. If you find it, I will know that you're liking some, I would say, strange things, but there's a lots of new channel on YouTube about this topic. There's another hint. So good luck. So now in FTP, changing the directory to the right one, getting the system log. And even if you find my password, like I said in my first video, don't use your real life password in this game, especially if you play multiplayer. So even if you find my password, I don't use it anymore. It was a password from the past. So none of my accounts on any website use this password. So now the log is clear. I put it back at this place. There was nothing on the log, as you saw. There was only me. So next machine. Yeah, when you root your folder change, so you have to use the change directory command to go back where you put your stuff. And an SSH, an easy one. So if you can see the my notepad, we are three machine deep in this investigation. Yep, the I only have FTP, I don't have SSH. Yep, like I said, we are three network deep in this investigation. So yeah, those missions are long and hard to do. I said hard. It's feasible. It's possible to do, but they are more complicated than the last video when you have to find a file and send it in an email. So and here we go. We found the connection that was the connection routed to the second computer that we checked. So we are in the computer of the hacker. It's important to be in the computer because it's said in the email you have to reach the machine of the hacker, and the game knows if you reach it or not. So even if you put an IP, the good IP and the local IP, if you didn't reach the machine connected to, it won't work. So it's really important to connect to the machine. So now I did an ifconfig to have it without mistakes, copy, paste it in the reply, and the customer is satisfied with the job. So now the cleanup begins. So yeah, this is how we find a hacker. It's uh, it's a long journey. It's not a mission that you do in 15 minutes, especially with some script that are a bit long to execute. And three computers deep, there's a lot of cleanup on the way. So yeah, it's a bit complicated, but if you're able to do it, it's very satisfying. If you have any question, just write it in the comment. If you like this video and I help you uh, to do your mission that was like this, I hope I help you. And if it's the case, leave a like. It will be appreciated. And I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.